Here is a more detailed video on how to make the quilted casserole hot pad. Use a 13 by 16 piece of batting, same size piece of Insulbright, a 3 by 3 square for the center, 1.5 inch strips of fabric, and then you'll also need to cut out a variety of 1.5 inch strips, preferably 5 or more colors. Then spray base that 3 by 3 square to the center of your piece of batting, only the batting at this point. Now you will lay your first 1.5 inch strip face down onto that square and sew a 1/4 inch seam, then fold it over. I ironed mine over, but you can just finger press them if you'd like. And then just continue and keep trimming them down to size as you add them, going all the way around the square. And then just keep adding strips all the way around, building out that square, and keep track of your fabric and make sure you're not putting the same 2 colors right up against each other. Now, when you start to get towards the edge of your piece of binding, you'll need to make sure that your fabric hangs over the edge so that when you fold it over, you have that whole piece of batting covered. If you don't, you'll end up with a gap up there that may be too big once you go to put your binding on. So just keep adding the fabric all the way till you've covered all the way to the corners. If there's a little piece, that's fine, because you're going to trim this down all the way around it, because the finish is 12 by 16. Now, I'm just going to trim off some of that excess fabric, not all the way to the edge or anything, just so I know where the edges are, but you can leave about a 1/2 inch all the way around of the fabric. That's fine. And then go ahead and just give it a light pressing, making sure everything's laying nice and flat. Now take your back piece of fabric pretty side down and spray baste it, and then lay your piece of Insulbright and then your top piece on it, so your quilted part face up. Now the quilting process attaches all those layers together. I just did a 1/4 inch around these squares, traveling out to the next row until I had quilted the entire top piece. You can quilt it however you like. You could just do like 3 lines down it. Most batting requires it about to be a 4 inch space in between your quilting. And that way, as you're cleaning the product, that batting is secure in there and won't bunch up and come apart. Now go ahead and trim it down to 12 by 16. That's a good size for a casserole dish. So you just want to make sure that you have a nice rectangular shape, cutting each edge, all the excess off. And now this is what you have, and it's ready for binding. So I just do binding just like you do with a quilt or anything else, and I attach it to the front. Then I do use basting to glue down that binding to the back, iron it down, then attach it to the back. Once you have your binding attached to it, and then there you go, you have a casserole dish hot pad. Perfect Christmas present. Happy sewing. Okay.